Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. We have finally got the official announcement of a new Power spinoff with Michael Rainey Jr. and Joseph Sikora taking back the roles of Tommy and Tariq, combining their shows. This is probably my third or fourth video about this, talking about this idea and possibility of this happening, and I thought we wouldn't get an official announcement to the end of Power Book Force. We know we got a lot of breakdown, a lot to get into, but we'll get right into it. We got to start with, of course, the phone call. We knew Tariq was gonna be in the final season of Book Force due to the phone call he received at the end of Book Ghost.
Yo, I heard from you in a minute. Come on, we family for life. Send me the details and I'll be there. I'm on my way.
Tommy, he's in a bit of a terrible situation with him going to war with possibly CBI, Diamond, Gerard, who's trying to take out D-Mac behind his back. Also, Miguel took Maria. He has to get her back and everything like that. He's gonna need some help, and he hits up Tariq. He says that's family. So we absolutely knew he was gonna be in this season, but we also knew this was the last season and that Tommy had another show coming due to Joseph Sikora making a video and specifically saying that it's the end of Tommy's road in Chicago, but his road is far from over.
We saw that we were telling a complete story and that this was the perfect opportunity to stay true to our artistic vision and make this the final chapter in Tommy's journey in Chicago. But don't worry, Tommy's journey is far from over with. We're just getting warmed up, and I can't wait to show you what we have planned next. Tune in, because ghosts never die and power never ends.
So we knew they had something that was coming. Now, this all had us questioning, okay, cool, what would the location be then? Obviously, wouldn't be Chicago. New York, that's where Tariq and everything is running. But if you guys don't remember, Tommy is dead in New York, technically. We know Tasha ended up snitching and putting the whole thing on Tommy about killing ghosts, running the whole empire, everything like that. And when Tommy returned, him and Tariq made a plan to have the police follow him, fake his death in that huge explosion, and he's good. He never had to worry about the cops again. Obviously, Tommy still tried to take out Tariq and Tasha after that, but nonetheless, he's quote unquote dead in New York. Now, he technically still can go back and run shit because the cops in Chicago, I believe, she found out that he faked his death in New York and nothing came from it.
Take kindly to people who fake their deaths in New York, selling a whole lot of drugs.
Allegedly. You gotta use that word allegedly.
Oh, I don't gotta do shit.
Which is crazy. You should get arrested for that if you had crime somewhere else and you faked your death. I don't know why she couldn't arrest him on the spot. That's another story for another day. But I don't think he necessarily goes back to New York, but that's where Tariq is based at. But we know Tariq set up the whole system to where he said he can actually be a ghost. And we saw that his new connect that was over Noma basically called him a ghost at the end of Book Ghost, basically saying that he has a system in play with the lawyer, of course, Davis. Of course, he has the cop at the police station that was under Detective Carter, but is now in charge after they brought down Carter, and he still has Effie doing course correct at the college, and he has Braden taking over the fight clubs that Zion used to run. So he has this whole system in place where he could be out of sight, out of mind, and doesn't have to really be hands-on and involved. So maybe they do stay in New York. The last possible location, of course, is Los Angeles, though, because obviously another big, huge city, big on violence, gang culture, drugs, shit like that. And we know that's where Tommy was initially headed before he made his stop in Chicago and decided to stay there. But I don't see why Tariq would go all the way to Los Angeles. Like I said, he's already set up in New York. That's something we're gonna have to look out for and pay attention to. The next thing is what other characters would be involved in this series. Once again, a lot of the characters I possibly named for Tariq, the Bradens, the Effies, and more than likely Davis for sure would be there. Tommy, it depends on who survives with him in Chicago. Will he bring his family, mainly his mother, JB, and D-Mac? We want to see that interaction between D-Mac and Tariq. So many similarities between them would be cool to see. I think JP possibly dies this upcoming season of Force, but maybe Tommy and D-Mac, his mom, are the ones who make it out, and he take them back to New York, and we finally will get a full show and season seeing Tariq and D-Mac interact with one another, which would be dope to see. So you guys let me know what characters you think all should be involved in this season. Obviously we're gonna know more once we actually see how the final season of Book Force plays out, but that's the two things we got to figure out first: location and the characters that will be involved. After that, it's gonna be the dynamic between Tommy and Tariq. Now obviously we know they squashed everything after he tried to go take out Tasha, but if we go way back to the beginning, it's a lot of shit Tariq did to Tommy. We know he stole his product and drugs. We know he went to Vincent and made a deal behind Ghost and Tommy's back, got Vincent paid the money, split it with him. We know Tommy tried to get him to go with him to save Ghost, and this nigga Tariq called Vincent and tried to get them to kill Tommy. And then we know when Tommy arrived at Ghost's club, Tariq had already shot him, and Ghost stopped Tommy from doing that. Obviously I mentioned this shit earlier about Tariq letting Tasha rat on him and everything like that. So we know once again from the phone call they cleared all this up, their family, they're gonna work it out, whatever, but we never actually see them being a team throughout the course of the original Power to now. Tariq always used Tommy being gullible to get over on him because they're family. So to actually see them be partners or whatever is gonna take place is gonna be an interesting dynamic we gotta focus on as well, because Tommy gonna have to learn that this nigga Tariq does some snaky shit. Last thing we got to talk about, and I probably make it its own section, Ghost. Obviously this is going to be a big topic of conversation, discussion. Everybody, I'm gonna say it first, I believe Ghost is dead. He's not ever coming back. But with them continuing this timeline and Tommy and Tariq meeting back up, the possibility of Ghost returning is always going to be a question, an idea, a theme that people are going to debate for the end of time no matter what, because he was such a beloved character. I understand it. So a lot of people are going to be talking about if it's a possibility he could return, and there's so many clips of Omari Hardwick even saying himself that they asked him to come back.
They asked me before to come back. They asked me in the last year and a half to come back.
If I didn't die, it means I'm still working, right? And my damn checks don't got power on it no more.
Now, we don't know if this would mean he's alive or it's in a flashback or it's dream sequence. We seen Tariq have a lot of those where he's surrounded by characters he killed. We seen him have a of his future when he had a kid with Diana. We also seen him in Ghost's club. So we could get a scene of Omari Hardwick as Ghost in a lot of different shapes or form. But a lot of people are gonna be expecting him more so to be alive, which is understandable. Like I said, he has so many clips and scenes talking about his possible return and them asking him about it. And I don't think with the amount of money they would have to pay him that it would be a one-time thing. They would want to have to get their money's worth, but who knows at this point. I think once again it's gonna be a large topic of conversation. I don't know how they will work it into the story, especially with Tasha and Yaz officially leaving and out the picture. It's so much that just, I don't know, it wouldn't make sense. Obviously Tariq lost his trust fund. It would be crazy to see, I'm not gonna deny that, but I just don't think it fits currently to what's going on. I think actually a lot of people expected him to make some type of return or appearance in the last season of Book Ghost, because that season, that was the most we ever seen characters speak about him. Obviously Detective Carter knew who he was.
Tariq St Patrick, son of James St Patrick, one of New York City's biggest pieces of shit. And you smell just like him.
I don't know what you have in your mind about my father, but whatever that is, that has nothing to do with me.
Zion mentioned him to Tariq, as well as mentioning Tommy to Braden.
My men know better than to pull up lacking like you just did. Thought you would too, given who your father was.
Respectfully, you don't know who my father was.
I knew you knew how to solve a problem before it became a problem. I find it funny you went and got a white boy just like Ghost did. Tell me something. You as crazy as Tommy.
We even had Tariq admitting that he was just like Ghost. He has a piece of him in him and everything like that.
I realized to get what the fuck I want, I gotta use all of them. The good parts of him, the bad parts of him. You know, my dad did a lot of dumb shit that I never agree with, but I got a lot of him in me.
And obviously before we got the Tariq dream sequence, seeing him wearing the same suit and color as Ghost, a lot of people thought, hey, he possibly could be showing up here. And when it didn't happen, everybody kind of put it to rest that, hey, he is dead. But all this is about to get stirred right back up. I think what they should do with Omari Hardwick is bring him back for Origins, and he narrates over it, obviously how 50 Cent does for Kanan for Raising Kanan. I think Omari Hardwick, him doing that, talking about his dad, his backstory, relationship with Breeze, Kanan, Tommy growing up, I think that's a role he could easily fit and do, and it would just be a nice presence to hear his voice once again. But you guys can let me know down below if you think he will return, in what capacity, dream, alive, whatever. You can let me know your thoughts and opinions. I just think that this makes more sense of the route they'll go. I feel like as long as they continue stories in the timeline, in the present timeline, I guess you could say, with Tariq, Tommy, there's always gonna be people you want them to bring back, and Ghost is at the top of that list, obviously. So like I said, it's just gonna continue to be a conversation until Power officially is dead. But like they keep saying, Power never ends, so this will forever be a conversation, unfortunately. Overall though, that's it for this video. Like I said, Power Legacy announced a new spin-off with Tariq and Tommy. Obviously we knew Tommy was going to survive the end of this season. We knew Tariq was going to make an appearance, but now they're doing a whole new show. Now it's a lot we still got to figure out. Like I said, I think they probably should have waited after Force to do this or to say this. They already left a lot of hints and clues that they were gonna make it out or whatever, but I don't know, we won't be getting this show for so long. Like, we've got Origins announced, I feel like maybe 2 years now, and still really no news on that. But Force is this fall, and we get Raising Kanan following that, so maybe that's the last season of Raising Kanan, and they'll want Origins and Legacies to air back to back next to each other. Hopefully that's the route they're going with these two Power shows ending. But as usual, you guys can leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know all your thoughts and opinions, because we don't have all the information. But I'm out.